Have you ever stared at your dating history or your closest relationships and thought, why does this keep happening to me? Have you ever met someone new and felt the same old storyline forming before you even knew their middle name? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about something that can feel mysterious until you see it clearly. Why you keep attracting the same type of person or the same type of situation. Why certain relationships feel like destiny even when they hurt. Why you can swear you have learned your lesson, and then life hands you the same lesson in a different outfit. Here are the two ideas I want to plant in your mind right away. First, the people you attract are often a mirror for the parts of you that are still unconscious, still unhealed, or still craving a certain kind of validation. Second, destiny is not just something that happens to you. Destiny is something you participate in through the quality of your mind, your heart, your intention, and your actions. In Buddhist language, this is karma in motion, not as punishment, but as cause and effect. In more modern language, you could call it resonance, the way your inner blueprint quietly acts like a magnet. So if you have been wondering whether you are attracting your destiny, the real question becomes this: what part of your inner world is doing the attracting? And what kind of future are those patterns building? Let us start with the hook that so many people know intimately. You meet someone and it is like the universe turns up the volume. The chemistry is intense. The conversation feels effortless. The timing feels meaningful. You'll feel seen. You feel chosen. You feel alive. And then later, sometimes weeks or months later, the same old pain shows up. The distance, the mixed signals, the criticism, the power struggle, the emotional unavailability, the betrayal, the constant feeling of walking on eggshells, the anxious waiting, the burnout of overgiving, the sudden collapse of hope. At some point you might say, I guess this is just my fate. Or you might say, love is always hard for me. Or you might say, I must be cursed. But what if the pattern is not a curse? What if the pattern is a curriculum? What if the same theme returns because it is still alive in your nervous system, your beliefs, and your habits of attachment? That is the karmic mirror. Karmic resonance is a simple concept once you translate it into everyday life. Your energetic blueprint is not only some mystical or floating around you. It is your core beliefs, your subconscious pattern, your unhealed wounds, your expectations of love, your comfort with intimacy, your relationship to conflict, your relationship to boundaries, your relationship to self-worth. That blueprint shapes how you behave and what you tolerate. It shapes what feels familiar. It shapes what feels exciting. It shapes what feels safe. And here is the part many people do not want to hear at first. Familiar does not always mean healthy. Familiar often means what you learn it early. If you grew up around emotional unpredictability, you might confuse intensity with love. Calm might feel boring because calm does not match your nervous system training. If you grew up around criticism, you might confuse harshness with honesty. Kindness might feel suspicious because kindness was not your baseline. If you grew up needing to earn attention, you might be magnetized to people who make you earn it again. Not because you want to suffer, but because the mind chases what it thinks will finally resolve the old wound. That is karmic resonance. It is not magic. It is conditioning meeting opportunity. Now, I want to be careful here. This does not mean you are to blame for how others treat you. Someone choosing to lie or manipulate is their responsibility. Someone choosing to harm you is their responsibility. But your blueprint shapes where you stay, where you excuse, where you chase, where you abandon yourself, and where you fail to listen to your own body. That part is where your agency lies. That part is where you can rewrite the script. So let us decode this energetic blueprint in a grounded way. Think of your blueprint as 3 layers. The first layer is belief. These are the quiet sentences running in the background. Love must be earned. If I have needs, I will be abandoned. If I am not perfect, I will be rejected. If I set a boundary, I will be punished. If I relax, Something bad will happen. If I am too much, people leave. If I am not enough, people leave. Beliefs are powerful because they shape perception. If you believe love is earned, you will interpret effort as devotion even when it is self-abandonment. If you believe needs lead to abandonment, you will hide your needs until resentment explodes. If you believe boundaries led to punishment, you will tolerate behavior you should not tolerate. The second layer is wounds. Wounds are the places in you that still ache, the places that never got what they needed. Wounds can be abandonment wounds, rejection wounds, betrayal wounds, humiliation wounds, neglect wounds. When a wound is activated, it can hijack your behavior. You stop responding as your present adult self and you start reacting as the part of you that is terrified of reliving the old pain. The third layer is patterns. Patterns are the behaviors that repeat because they once protected you. People-pleasing, controlling, rescuing, withdrawing, chasing, shutting down, testing, provoking, staying silent, exploding. These patterns are not random. They are strategies. They helped you survive something. But what protected you then may imprison you now. When you put these layers together, you get something that feels like an energetic magnet. It pulls you towards certain dynamics because those dynamics match your internal map of love and safety. Now, people often ask about soul contracts or predestined connections. Are some relationships meant to happen? Is there a cosmic plan? Are we bound to meet certain people? Here is a useful way to hold that idea without getting trapped by it. You may be destined to meet certain teachers, but you are not destined to stay unconscious. A relationship can be karmic in the sense that it brings up a lesson you need to learn. But the lesson is not that you must tolerate harm. The lesson is often that you must wake up. Practice discernment. Practice self-respect. Practice compassion. Practice boundaries. Practice non-attachment. In other words, even if the meeting is part of your path, the meaning is still shaped by your choices. That is where free will lives inside karma. Now let us talk about the echoes of past actions. Because this is where the Buddhist lens becomes deeply practical. In Buddhism, karma is action shaped by intention. It is not fate. It is not punishment. It is cause and effect. When you repeatedly act from fear, the effect is more fear. When you repeatedly act from craving, the effect is more craving. When you repeatedly act from avoidance, the effect is more avoidance. When you repeatedly act from compassion, the effect is more compassion. When you repeatedly act from honesty, the effect is more clarity. Relationship karma is created in the same way, not only by what you do, but by why you do it. Two people can both say I love you. One says it to connect and care. Another says it to control and secure. The words are the same. The intention is different. And the relationship that grows from those intentions will feel very different. This is why karmic patterns show up as repeated betrayals, repeated conflicts, repeated unfulfilled needs. Consider an example. Someone keeps attracting partners who cheat. At first they think they are unlucky, but when they look deeper, they see a pattern. They ignore early signs. They rush intimacy. They avoid hard conversations because they fear losing the person. They accept vague commitment because they hope it will become solid. They betray their own boundaries. None of this causes the partner to cheat. The partner chooses that. But the pattern creates an environment where the person stays longer than they should, and where they do not protect themselves early. Another example. Someone keeps attracting emotionally unavailable partners. They might say, I always date people who cannot love me. But when they reflect, they realize they were taught that love feels like longing, like chasing, like proving. They also realize that truly available partners make them feel exposed. Availability requires vulnerability. It requires receiving. It requires being seen. That can feel terrifying if you learn it early that being seen leads to criticism or abandonment. So the person unconsciously chooses unavailable partners because it lets them stay in a familiar role. the one who tries harder, the one who hopes, the one who waits, the one who never fully has to risk being fully known. Another example. Someone keeps recreating power struggles. They attract partners who are controlling, or they become controlling. Underneath is often fear of chaos. If you grew up in instability, control can feel like safety. So your nervous system reads control as love, even though it creates suffering. That is a karmic ego. Not because the universe wants you to suffer, but because your system is trying to resolve an old fear through a familiar strategy. Now here is the crucial distinction. There is a difference between conscious choice and unconscious magnetics. Conscious choice says I see this person's character, values, and behavior, and I choose based on alignment, not based on intensity. Unconscious magnetics says I feel pulled, I feel obsessed, I feel like I need them, and I interpret that as destiny. Painful relationships can absolutely be powerful teachers, but you have to learn the right lesson. The wrong lesson is I must endure because this is karmic. The right lesson is I must become conscious because this is karmic. So how do you break the karmic loop and elevate your resonance? This is where we get practical. Because understanding without action can become another form of avoidance. The first step is self-awareness, not as self-blame, but as self-honesty. You begin by observing your patterns like a scientist of your own life. What type of person triggers your strongest attraction? What type of person triggers your strongest anxiety? What type of person triggers your desire to rescue? What type of person triggers your desire to prove yourself? Then you ask, what is familiar about this dynamic? Familiar does not mean good. Familiar means known. If you can identify what is familiar, you can identify the original training. And when you see the train, you can rewrite it. The second step is emotional healing. You cannot think your way out of a nervous system pattern. If your body learned that love equals unpredictability, your body will chase unpredictability even when your mind knows better. Healing means you teach the body a new experience of safety. This can include therapy, somatic work, mindful lines, breath practices, and honest relational experiences with people who are safe. It also includes grieving. Sometimes you have to grieve the love you did not receive in the form you needed. Grief is not weakness. Grief is completion. When grief is processed, you stop chasing the past through the future. The third step is conscious intention. In Buddhism, intention is the seed of karma. In relationships, intention is the seed of what you will tolerate and what you will build. Ask yourself before entering or deepening a connection, what is my intention? Am I here to be chosen? Am I here to be needed? Am I here to escape loneliness? Am I here to heal a wound through someone else? Or am I here to practice love with clarity, compassion, and self-respect? Intention does not guarantee outcome, but intention shapes behavior. Behavior shapes pattern. Pattern shapes destiny. Now let us talk about techniques for identifying and releasing karmic ties in a grounded way. Journaling is powerful when you use it to reveal patterns, not to rehearse drama. If you want to use journaling for karmic clarity, write about the repeating theme, not just the latest person. Write the story that repeats. I chase. They withdraw. I panic. They return. I feel relief. Then the cycle repeats. Then write what you are afraid will happen if you stop the cycle. If I stop chasing, I will be abandoned. If I set a boundary, I will be alone. If I choose someone healthy, I will feel bored. If I stop rescuing, I will be worthless. These fears are the chains, not the person. Shadow work is another technique, and it does not have to be mystical. Shadow work means you look at the parts of you do not want to admit. The jealousy, the neediness, the desire to control, the desire to punish, the tendency to manipulate through silence, the craving to be special, the fear of being ordinary, the fantasy of being safe. You do not judge these parts. You learn them. You ask what they want. You ask what they fear. You ask what they are protecting. When you bring compassion to the shadow, it becomes less controlling. It becomes integrated. And when you integrate the shadow, you attract different dynamics because you are no longer unconsciously outsourcing parts of yourself to other people. Forgiveness practices can also release karmic ties. But forgiveness must be understood correctly. Forgiveness is not excusing harm. Forgiveness is releasing the energetic grip of resentment that keeps you tied to the past. When you hate someone intensely, they still live inside your nervous system. They still shape your mood. They still shape your trust. They still shape your choices. Forgiveness does not mean you invite them back. It means you reclaim your inner space. Forgiveness can also be directed toward yourself. Many people carry shame for staying too long, for ignoring red flags, for repeating patterns. Shame keeps the blueprint stuck. Self-forgiveness opens the possibility of change. Now, let us explore the transformative power of personal growth, because this is where the phrase raising your vibration becomes useful when you translate it. Raising your vibration is not about pretending to be positive. It is about raising the quality of your inner life. It means your self-worth becomes steadier. It means your boundaries become clearer. It means your nervous system becomes more regulated. It means your intentions become cleaner. It means you stop confusing intensity with intimacy. It means you stop chasing people who make you feel unworthy. It means you stop choosing from scarcity. When you do this, you naturally attract higher resonance relationships, not because of magic, but because your choices change. You will notice red flags sooner. You will stop negotiating your needs. You will feel less hooked by inconsistency. You will be able to receive healthy love without sabotage. You will also become a healthier partner, which is part of the karma you create. Now I want to tell a longer story, because the best way to understand karmic resonance is to watch it unfold. Imagine a man named Noah. Noah is kind, intelligent, and outwardly confident, but inside, Noah carries a belief that he must earn love. He grew up in a home where praise came when he achieved. When he was calm and self-sufficient, adults smiled. When he had needs, adults were overwhelmed or dismissive. Noah learned to be impressive. He learned to be useful. He learned to not ask for too much. As an adult, Noah becomes very good at being the strong one. He is the one who plans dates, pays attention, remembers birthdays, shows up when someone is struggling. He looks like a dream partner. And he is, in many ways. But the hidden part is this. Noah gives as a way to secure love. He does not always give freely. He gives with an invisible contract. If I do enough, you will not leave. Noah keeps attracting partners who are emotionally inconsistent. At first he feels challenged in a thrilling way. He believes the intensity is passion. He believes the longing is love. His partners often have their own wounds. They crave connection, but they fear it. They pull close, then pull away. They crave reassurance, then they resent needing it. They call Noah amazing. Then they disappear for days. They praise him. Then they criticize him. Noah becomes addicted to the cycle. When they are close, he feels chosen. When they pull away, he feels like a child again. He tries harder. He becomes more impressive. He becomes more helpful. He tries to earn stability. It never works for long. One night, after another argument where the partner says you are too much and too intense, Noah sits alone and finally admits something. The relationship feels like home. But home did not feel safe. Home felt like a test. Home felt like earning. This moment is important. It is a moment of awakening. Noah sees the pattern. He sees that his attraction is not only about chemistry. It is about resonance with his old belief. Love must be earned. Once he sees it, he cannot unsee it. And this is where the karmic loop can break. Noah starts practicing mindfulness. At first it feels strange. He sits quietly and realizes he does not know how to be with himself without performing. He notices thoughts like I should be doing something. He notices anxiety when there is no crisis. He notices a craving to check his phone for messages. He notices that his nervous system treats uncertainty like danger. He begins to observe his attachment as a sensation, a tightness, a heat, a restlessness. Instead of obeying it, he breathes. Then he starts journaling, but not about the partner. He journals about the pattern. He writes, "I chase people who make me prove my worth. I confuse longing with love. I feel bored with calm because calm does not match my conditioning. I feel unworthy when someone is consistently kind because I do not know how to receive without earning." This is painful, but it is truth. He begins therapy and learns something even deeper. Under his giving is a fear of being ordinary. He believes if he is not exceptional, he will be left. This belief comes from childhood, but it still runs his adult relationships. Now, Noah could keep asking, "Why do I attract this?" Or he can ask a better question. What in me resonates with this dynamic? He starts practicing a new behavior. When someone is inconsistent, he does not chase. He pauses. He asks for clarity. He communicates needs. If the person cannot meet them, he leaves. Not with hatred, but with respect. At first, this feels like withdrawal from an addiction. His body screams. His mind says you are losing your chance. His heart aches, but he stays. He also practices receiving. In friendships, he stops being the fixer. He lets others show up for him. He learns to ask for help. He learns to be imperfect without apologizing for existing. Over time, his resonance changes. Then he meets someone new. The connection is calm. The person is consistent. They text back. They show up. They communicate. They do not punish him for having needs. At first, Noah feels suspicious. He feels restless. He thinks, is this even chemistry? He realizes this is the moment where many people sabotage healthy love. Healthy love feels unfamiliar. Familiarity has been confused with destiny. Noah chooses to practice. He tells himself, calm is not boredom. Calm is safety. Consistency is not lack of passion. Consistency is emotional maturity. He stays. He breathes through the discomfort. He communicates. He builds slowly. And something amazing happens. The relationship becomes deeper than any of his intense romances because it is not built on anxiety. It is built on trust. This is what it means to elevate your resonance. Not by forcing the universe, but by changing what you are available for. Now, let us bring this back to you with a direct question. Are your current attachments reflections of the past, or alignments with your highest path? You can answer this by looking at the effect of the relationship on your mind and heart. Does this relationship make you more compassionate or more reactive? Does it make you more honest or more performative? Does it make you more grounded or more anxious? Does it encourage growth, or does it keep you in a loop? Does it align with your values, or does it demand self-betrayal? A karmic lesson relationship often triggers growth through discomfort, but it can also keep you stuck if you keep trying to get the wrong lesson. The wrong lesson is to keep trying harder until someone changes. The right lesson is often to stop abandoning yourself. A genuine soul connection is not necessarily easy, but it tends to support your evolution without requiring you to shrink. It tends to increase your self-respect. It tends to invite honesty. It tends to feel cleaner over time, not dirtier. So how do you discern between karmic lessons and genuine alignment? Look at who you become in the relationship. If you become smaller, more anxious, more obsessed, more ashamed, you may be repeating old karma. If you become clearer, kinder, more courageous, more honest, you may be aligning with your path. And remember, a relationship can begin as a lesson and devolve into alignment if both people are willing to practice. The key is willingness. If only one person is practicing, the relationship becomes a monastery for one and a playground for the other. That is not balance. Now let us talk about agency. Because I do not want you to leave with the idea that you are trapped by your blueprint. You have power. Not power to control who comes into your life, but power to choose who stays in your life. You have power to choose how quickly you attach. You have power to choose whether you ignore red flags. You have power to choose whether you tell the truth. You have power to choose whether you set boundaries. You have power to choose whether you heal. And healing changes attraction because healing changes what feels normal. When you heal abandonment wounds, you stop chasing avoidant partners. When you heal self-worth, you stop tolerating disrespect. When you heal shame, you stop performing and start relating. When you heal fear, you stop controlling and start trusting. This is how karma becomes a tool rather than a trap. In Buddhist practice, the present moment is where karma is made. Not in the past, not in the fantasy future, but right now. Right now, you can plant a seed of mindfulness by pausing before you text someone who consistently triggers your anxiety. Right now, you can plant a seed of honesty by naming what you need rather than hinting. Right now, you can plant a seed of compassion by speaking kindly, even while setting a firm boundary. Right now, you can plant a seed of non-attachment by releasing the urge to force someone to choose you. These seeds do not always produce immediate results, but they shape the future. They reshape the blueprint. Now, let us move into a deep reflection, because this is where the heart opens. Many people crave destiny in relationships because they want reassurance that love is real. They want to believe the intensity means something. They want to believe pain has a purpose. They want to believe that if a relationship feels fated, it will not leave. But the deepest security does not come from believing something is predestined. The deepest security comes from trusting your own discernment and your own ability to respond. You do not need destiny to guarantee love. You need wisdom to choose love wisely. You do not need fate to lock someone to you. You need self-respect to walk away from what harms you. You do not need a soulmate label to justify staying. You need clarity about whether the relationship supports your awakening. And awakening here does not mean becoming perfect. It means becoming conscious. It means you stop repeating patterns blindly. It means you learn from experience. It means you practice compassion without self-betrayal. If you are tired of attracting the same relationship, the invitation is not to blame the universe. The invitation is to become curious about your own resonance. Ask yourself, what do I believe love feels like? Ask yourself, what do I chase when I feel insecure? Ask yourself, what do I tolerate because I fear being alone? Ask yourself, what am I trying to resolve through another person? Ask yourself, what would it look like to choose from wholeness rather than from craving? These questions are not meant to shame you. They are meant to free you. Now, I want to offer a gentle closing story, because many people need hope here. Imagine a woman named Elise. Elise keeps attracting partners who are charismatic but unreliable. Her friends do not understand. They say you deserve better. She agrees, yet she keeps choosing the same pattern. One day Elise realizes something in meditation. When someone is unreliable, she feels alive because she is chasing. The chase gives her a purpose. It distracts her from her own inner emptiness. This is hard to admit, but it is the truth. Elise begins to build a life that feels full without romance. She builds friendships. She finds a creative hobby. She cares for her body. She practices mindfulness. She learns to sit with loneliness without panicking. As she becomes steadier, unreliable people feel less exciting. Not because she is numb, but because she is awake. Then she meets someone who is consistent. At first she thinks there is no spark. Then she realizes the spark she is used to is anxiety. She gives the relationship time. She builds slowly. She speaks honestly. She receives. Months later, she feels something she has rarely felt in love. Peace. That peace is not boring. It is spacious. It is grounding. It is the foundation for real intimacy. Elise realizes she did not attract a new destiny by wishing harder. She attracted it by becoming someone who could live it. That is your power too. Now I want to ask you something before we end. Are your current relationships expanding your heart or repeating your wound? Are you attracting your destiny or replaying your past? You can change the answer, not by forcing anyone, by changing your resonance. If this spoke to you, share in the comments what pattern you have noticed in your relationships and what you want to change. And if you want more long-form teachings on karma, mindful sins, healing, and conscious relationships, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave a comment so more people can find this work. If you want to support the channel even more, you can join the channel membership. Your support helps keep these deeper conversations alive. Until next time, stay mindful, stay compassionate, and remember this: the relationships you attract are not only a mystery, they are a mirror. And when you learn how to read the mirror with wisdom, you stop repeating the same story and you start writing a new one.
At the end of the day, we all need something that brings us back to ourselves. Something that reminds us to slow down, breathe, and stay centered. Simple bracelet can do exactly that. Every bead you touch brings your mind back to calm, back to clarity, back to the present moment. If one of the bracelets you just saw resonates with you, you can find the purchase link in the video description and explore more beautiful styles in our channel store. Let the one meant for you find its way to your wrist.